weekend as they were in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi a couple of weeks ago, but I think we might see a little bit more of those cars joining us. Let's have a look at the grid. The two Astons on the front, Darren Turner and Thomas Enger in the third Aston on the inside of the second row, the Lamborghini and Nissan on the following row of the grid, and then Bernoldi, who is an ex-Formula 1 driver, and Michael Krum on row 4. Andreas Suber, he finished second 2 weeks ago in the Corvette. Can he move up from 10th on the grid? Mike Hezemans, the most experienced GT1 driver of them all. Matteo Bobby and Bert Longin, who is new to the Maserati, but he should be fast. Carl Wendlinger will start alongside on the 7th row of the grid. Carl Wendlinger has won this event, the Tourist Trophy, the famed Royal Automobile Club Tourist Trophy, for the last 2 years in a row, but he has his work cut out to win it from a long way down the grid. Baz Lenders, he should be fast. Alex Margaritis and Alfred Hager on row 11 of the grid, making a comeback after almost 10 the local favourite, and the Maserati alongside on row 2. They'll keep a constant pace now until they see the green lights ablaze on the start-finish gantry, and then the race will be on. Lights ablaze from everybody on virtually in the field of cars. It's waiting for that lunch gun. There goes the green light, and away they go. A wonderful start for car number 10. That is Jonathan Hirschi and Clivio Piccioni, who will share that car.
Oh, there's a GT40 spinning there.
Thomas, that's Grosjean.
Yeah, that happened very early. A lot of smoke was going on quite early on there. I don't know what happened there.
So the winner from 2 weeks ago, we just talked about him. We think he was going to move his way forward. In fact, he's in reverse at the first corner.
Absolutely.
It is the Aston Martin made a wonderful start there from the outside of the front row. Jonathan Hirschi doesn't have an awful lot of experience, certainly not in these cars. He's come out of the Renault Megane Euro Cup Series, but boy, he did a great job yesterday, and he's done a super move at the beginning of the race. He timed that start absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, and the Lamborghini also as well, that made a great start as well. That got ahead of the Maserati, and also the Nissan got ahead of the Maserati as well. So not such a good start from Bertolini.
A very poor start from Bertolini, and the second of the Vitaphone Maseratis there, number 2, it moves through into about 5th place. I think he started back in 9th, did Enrique Bernoldi, a former Formula 1 driver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place I think he is now. So an excellent start by the Brazilian,
and a very poor one by his teammate.
Looks like a problem also for one of the Al Inkle Lamborghini Gallardos. Once again they've had problems on the first lap. It was the same in yesterday's race as well.
Yeah, you can see the 3 Aston Martins already pulled a gap on the rest of the field, and now they're going to obviously start settling down to get those tyres as warm as they possibly can. So they've all got to be a little bit aware that it's easy to make mistakes when these tyres are cold, but you just need to get that temperature in there so you have the opportunity of passing your fellow drivers. I'm very close here with the 2 Corvettes. And he's passed him. That was a great move. He really put the pressure on, was able to slip past.
And that was another local driver, Oliver Gavin, making the move there past the number 14 car of Mike Hazeman. So these two are both hugely experienced at the wheel of Corvettes, but the local man, Ollie Gavin, he makes the move stick down into that final complex of corners.
And a great move by Ollie. It's something that he needs to do. He started a little bit further back down the field, but that was a great move to start his move in this race.
Boy, the Aston Martins, they just took off at the green flag. Well, at the end of lap 1, we've got Aston Martin out in front, and they are almost a full 2 seconds clear of the best of the rest, which is Jos Menton in the Reiter Lamborghini Murcielago.
Place to the Aston Martins, and we got a wheel with a puncture from somebody as it rolls back onto the track. Looks like a Nissan, I think.
Nice
time. It's an Aston Martin, no.
It is one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's presumably car number 8, which started at the back. Stefan Rucker and Christopher Nygaard. They had problems yesterday as well. An incident on the first lap. Looks like they got problems again. The other 3 Astons are in great shape, but in the 4th one, not so much.
Now rimboard again. This is a club corner, I think. Yes, and now this is where he's going to try and explain. Oh, we've got a big fire here. Big fire. I think this is at the end of the Hangar Straight.
It's the number 14 Phoenix Carsport Corvette Z06. That is Mike Hazen, the most experienced. That is well ablaze. Can't imagine what happened there, but there's a huge conflagration going on down there. The marshals very quickly on hand Mike Hazelman's. He's the most experienced GT1 driver, 121 starts to his name. He started in the series back in 1998. He's got 14 wins to his name. He's not going to add to that tally this afternoon.
No, definitely not. I think I saw a little bit earlier on there was an actual safety car. So obviously they've got to clear up that.
Don't make a mistake under acceleration here. Out of Luffield and onto the front straight at Silverstone. The safety car has pulled off the line, and here it comes. It's a super start again from Frederick Makowecki. He gets away beautifully this time from the rolling start. He holds the position clearly into Cox Corner. Warren Hughes in fourth place, unable to get close to Darren Turner. There, the second of the Vitaphone Maseratis. Andrea Bertolini aboard, and he's at the moment having to be content with following the number 2 car, the teammate Enrique Benoldi at the wheel. 2 Maseratis running in lockstep.
Great start by the Aston Martins. They've got a sort of a nice lead on that first pit straight, so I think it's something they've got a slight advantage there. But I think, as I said before, that Nissan, we can see again, it seems to be still hanging on the back of those Aston Martins as the Lamborghini, I think, goes past the Maserati. I'm not quite sure. The Maserati was trying to pass the Lamborghini.
Let's have a look here at the
trying to pass the Lamborghini.
Intermediate splits there. The Aston Martin in first place.
And there goes Michael Crum down the inside of running a bit wide there. I don't know if he's going to stay in front. Yeah, I think he has. There's a lot going on there, but the Corvette has lost out 3 places on that manoeuvre.
Yeah, look at them all there running, using the escape road there at the newly realigned club corner. Everybody out there in that runoff area. I don't think you're in favour of that, are you?
No, I don't think it should be used. It's not really there to be used, but these guys seem to be abusing it.
Yes, there for emergency use only. There's Oliver Gavin again making another move down the inside. That is for 10th place, finding his way past the vastly experienced Peter Cox. Farther down the field, one of the Hager Sport cars in 14th place making a move. And there's all sorts of jockeying positions on this first lap back to green flag racing. Down to the inside, this is the second of the Mad Croc Racing Corvettes. That is Xavier Masson making a move down into Brooklands corner.
Yeah, and that was a good move. That Chevrolet has been really, Corvette rather, has been really sort of losing. There's lost about 5 positions on that lap, I think it is.
Seiji Ara in fourth place here, looking back at the Joss mentioned Lamborghini, just holding off the 2 Maseratis, then another of the Nissans, then the Corvette, then the Lamborghini, then another Maserati, and here comes one of the Ford GTs trying to make a move on Andreas Zuber. And Zuber was a star 2 weeks ago in Abu Dhabi. He finished in 2nd place along with his teammate Mark Hennerisi in that Phoenix Car Sport racing car, but this weekend those Corvettes are not quite as competitive, and we saw here at the restart, as we did at the beginning of the race, the Aston Martins, they're running a little bit lighter than most of the other cars, and I think on the first lap particularly, that slightly lighter weight pays to their advantage.
Yeah, and they've got a slightly bigger restrictor, which actually restricts the air. It's something that they try and gain control of the cars, and it's slightly bigger here at Silverstone, and of course here at Silverstone it's exactly what you want, because we've got these long straights. As the Maserati tries to get up the inside of the Lamborghini, very close. He's still tucked up behind him. Enrique Benoldi has a good chance here if he's going to swing down the inside. I think he's through on this one, as long as he doesn't run wide. I think he should be okay. Yes, he's cleanly through. Very good job.
Yeah, very good job. He sort of feinted to the outside there, waited till Joss Menton kind of committed to the middle of the road, and then dived down the inside. That's how you get it done.
Absolutely, textbook.
And we saw yesterday, Benoldi was driving the 2nd stint in yesterday's race. We saw him make rather more questionable moves, do we not, towards the end of the race. But this one, that's how you should do it.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive driver.
There is the second of the Sumo Power GT cars that is driven by Michael Crum, and hot on his heels now is Oliver Gavin, the Corvette, the local driver from Yardley Hastings, not too far away from here in Silverstone. He's all over the back there, is on board here with Michael Crum. Ahead of him is Andrea Bertolini. 6 minutes to go in this race, so another lap and the pit window will be open, and we can expect the first of the cars to be diving onto pit lane. Everybody will have to make a pit stop in the 10-minute window between 25 minutes and 35 minutes into this 1-hour race. Meantime, the leader has pulled out quite an advantage over second, third and fourth, who are running pretty much together. So one Aston Martin well clear of the next two and the best of the Nissans. Warren Hughes running in fourth place. And here we are on board again with the second of the Nissans, Michael Krum in eighth place. And he thinks he knows he's got a faster car, at least at this stage of the race, than Maserati, Johnny, but he can't find a way past.
No, he can't. No, as I said, he's quick in the wrong places. He's quick when it's not easy to overtake, and then he's slower, obviously, where it's easier. And obviously, Bertolini, he's doing a good job. He's trying to close down the car in front, but he's also trying to sort of keep the Nissan behind it. But we're trying again. This is going into the Stowe corner. He's going to try and go around the outside, which I think will not quite work off, but he's trying very hard, and he could slip down on his inside if it's possible.
Well, I think he was trying to do that, and then that would give him the inside line for this ensuing corner. But look at Oliver Gavin!
Oh, that was optimistic, that one.
We know there was a second car alongside for sure, but he didn't know. But he did know that the Maserati was next to him, and he turned in anyway.
Absolutely, that was I think that was optimistic in one way from Oliver, but I think it was the way that everybody went into there, three abreast. But Michael cutting across the Maserati definitely was not good.
Yeah, that's what caused the accident. Yes, it was a big gamble from Ollie going down the inside of two cars. There is Michael Krum. It ended up very much the worse for it. I think probably justice perhaps served there. Michael, you know, he certainly didn't know there were two cars inside, but he did know there was one, and he turned in anyway. And that's pretty much a no-no, isn't it?
It is really, because it's a slow. You're braking to a slow corner, so to actually get in front is an impossibility, and I think that was obviously proof of that.
Here is this battle for second place, and now we see a couple of them taking the opportunity to come onto pit lane. That is Darren Turner in third place, and Warren Hughes in the Nissan right behind him. So an Aston Martin and a Nissan into the pits at the earliest possible opportunity. And I think this is a very smart move. They were both being held up by that second place car number 10 of Jonathan Hirschi. So why not take the opportunity now to come onto pit lane and make their scheduled pit stop?
Absolutely, I think that's totally right. The Maserati, Bertolini in also, so I think it's a good call on those guys to get in early, because they were being held up. Now they might have a chance of free traffic to get some speed, and obviously some overtaking when all these pit stops are done.
The Lamborghini of Peter Cox also onto pit lane. He will switch to Christopher Haas, and the pit stop's absolutely crucial here. Now they have to change drivers, they have to change all four Michelin tyres. Furthermore, however, there's only one air gun allowed to change these four tyres, and only two crew members are allowed to come out from outside the garage as well. So it has to be very, very closely monitored, very well choreographed. Look at these two coming side by side.
It's like in China.
So a good stop there by the Sumer power car. I think perhaps able to sneak ahead of Bertolini. 23 car of Michael Krum and Peter Dumbrek. I think
Michael Bartels has passed the Nissan, and the Nissan's trying to fight back as we go into Stowe corner at the end of the long hangar straight. No, it's not.
That's into Brooklands it is right now. A slight mistake by Jamie Campbell-Walter up at the new arena section, and Bartels taking advantage. What a great dice this is, back and forth, back and forth. Can the Maserati get the advantage on the exit of Luffield?
Yes. He does. Well, the Nissan is good, because I think he's been fighting off that Maserati for that lap, and they've been sort of having a ding-dong battle, and at the moment he's winning that battle.
Two completely different cars. They're both they're both very competitive, but you should look at the cars and how different they are. The Maserati against the more classical shape, perhaps, of that Nissan GTR.
Yeah, we'll always see. You can see even that Aston Martin that now they're passing for position. I think that was for position. Yes, that was position because of the puncture they had on that in-lap.
Exactly right. That was Claudio Piccioni coming out of the pits in that erstwhile second-place car. They lost a lot of ground, and he's now lost a couple of positions as well. These other two cars, side by side, they are again down into Stowe corner, and once again it's a Nissan on the outside. Can he pull it off? We shall see. Michael Bartels leaving no room on the exit, forces Jamie Campbell-Walter up on the curbs. Here they come down into club corners. A Lamborghini in there as well.
Yeah, great racing. Again, the Aston Martin sadly has lost a lot of position on this, but because he came out of the pits to cold tyres, got to get those back up to temperature again. And of course, all these guys already got warm tyres.
Maserati versus Nissan versus Lamborghini versus Aston Martin. That is what the GT1 World Championship is all about. Four manufacturers absolutely tied together on that racetrack there, going into this new arena section. Great stuff at in the dice for around about 4th or 5th place. Actually, a little bit lower than that, because there's several teams that have not yet made their first pit stops of the day, including Frederick McAbrecki in car number 9. He's led almost from the start. He took over the lead from his teammate about 4 or 5 laps into the race, and then to see whether Thomas Enger, who has taken over from Darren Turner, can make up that ground in the interim time. He's turning a couple of quickly, he's turning some very fast laps in Enger. He's just turned that car's best lap. He's down in 11th place right now. Is car number 7, Thomas Enger, at the wheel. He's just turned the fastest lap of his race so far, that car's race so far, a 2:01.2. Fastest lap of the race overall, the race leader, 2 minutes, 0.5. Look at this jostling here.
That Nissan's got ahead of that Maserati again. They're still racing, but they've got a bit of traffic ahead. They've got to try and guide their way through.
Look at this lot. This is crazy stuff going down into Club Corner. And the Nissan at Seiji Ara in car number 4, I believe he has not yet stopped. So he's on a different strategy to these other guys. So he's going to fall back once he does make his pit stop. And he's got only a couple of minutes within which to make that pit stop. Ahead of him is car number 4, that is Matteo Bobby, again a hugely experienced driver in one of the Triple H Megasport Racing Maseratis.
As they're coming to the new arena section, they're trying to, Michael Bartels trying to get up the inside to get ahead of that Nissan in the pits here.
Second place car of Enrique Bernoldi. Again, the tyres being changed, just the 2 crew members down to the inside there. Goes Michael Bartels. He makes the move on Seiji Ara, who has not yet made his first pit stop. And now trying to follow suit is the Lamborghini. And the Aston Martin.
And the Aston Martin as well. That slips his way from getting up to, getting two positions.
Great racing going on here down the field, and
it's just great, Jeremy, that we've got all these different manufacturers battling with each other, bouncing each other, repassing. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There is Carl Wendlinger. He's now caught up with his teammate Seiji Ara, and these two yesterday in the qualifying race were battling away as well, and they actually came together on that occasion. So we'll see what happens now. Yesterday it was a number 4 car pursuing the number 3, and they collided, and it was a number 3 car that came off worst. Now is the boot going to be on the other foot? Seiji Ara is the first place of the Swiss racing team. Nissan's trying to hold up its vastly more experienced in GT1 terms teammate Carl Wendlinger. Tremendous racing there. And here we are back to the race leaders coming down to Stowe Corner. Look at the lead now that Thomas Ackery has in that ACM, the Hexis AMR team, Aston Martin, and looming large right behind him now, that white car number 7, Thomas Enger. Again, a huge amount of experience. It's the young driver AMR team. I wouldn't exactly call Thomas young, but he's certainly got a lot of talent. He's 33 years of age now, from the Czech Republic, and charging hard. And here we are on board with the Aston Martin of our race leader, Thomas Ackery.
Yeah, one thing he doesn't want to do, and it was interesting watching his eyes, he's always, there you go, he's looking in the mirror, and it's one thing you just don't want to do. When it's Thomas Enger, you just want to carry on and just concentrate on what you're doing. And when you do that, you'll actually do the better lap times, because Thomas is something who's just going to put pressure on you.
And that is the car that was earlier running in second place. Clivio Piccioni has taken the wheel from Jonathan Hirschi, and he's had a huge spin.
So there was definitely a contact.
Carl Wendlinger, that was car number 3, who's had a biggish impact there. Is that Cox Corner?
It looks like it. I'm not quite sure, but I think it might be. I think that's the Cox Corner.
Times of the leaders?
Oh, running very similar. It's only 1/10 different. Thomas is 1/10 faster than the lead Aston Martin. So obviously the tyre pressures now have come up equally for both drivers, and now the race is really on with only 18.5 minutes to go.
You can see the running order at the bottom of the screen. And all sorts of battles here. Once again, we've got one of the Maseratis dicing with one of the Nissans. This time, it's Enrique Bernoldi in car number 2. There he is, the Vitaphone car in fourth place, I should say. And Jenny Campbell-Walter hot on his heels, right behind him there, and not far in front, Joss Menton, and it's Frank Ketchley who's taken over the wheel of car number 25. This is Ketchley's debut in GT1.
And down the inside he slips. Great move there, Bob. There you go. See, this is where Jamie's very quick on this part of the section. This is the pit straight, and he seems to be very close there. Loses a little bit down towards the exit of Beckett's and down the hangar straight. But at the end of the day, he's pushing, and he's always quick. Good pass. Good pass.
I think that's the first time we've seen a clean pass into Copse Corner. That Nissan is so quick around Luffield 1 and 2. He gets a run onto the start-finish straight, and he makes the pass.
Straight, and now he's going to overtake the pullback. Easily done.
Very on-board action there, and then down to
Not
the
as easy as I
inside.
thought.
Xavier, Nicola Armindo gives up the place there to Michael Bartle, so he finally jumped outboard of the car, and then he makes the pass. But that's a great battle, and right behind him too is Maxime Martin, the Belgian driver, at the wheel of that Mark BDS Racing Ford GT.
A beautiful car, and actually they've done very well as well. They were on row 8 at the start of this race as well. So this is the first time a bit of contact there, an optimistic move. As I said, it's very difficult to overtake a car there because you're going so fast, and if you're not side by side, this is the instance that you're going to see. You might just get on the back of them as they go into that last section of Brooklyn and Luffield. And here is the leader, Thomas Enger.
Going down into Brooklands for the final time, Thomas Enger. He's taken over the car from Darren Turner. The local driver lives just a few miles away from here, from Silverstone. Thomas Enger, who's done a lot of racing here in the past. You can see how delighted the car.
Showboating.
He's always a showman, is Thomas Enger. He puts the power down coming out of Luffield, and across the line he goes to take the checkered flag. A wonderful performance by Aston Martin, the young driver AMRT.